You have to collect data, or someone is collecting this data for you for sure.
You have to collect data.
I mean, it's being collected, like no matter if you are aware of that or not. It's like building the foundation for your home. You don't want to build the roof on top of, sticks. You want to have a proper foundation.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaia, the brand ambassador of Text, and today we're diving into the world of data in e-commerce and how businesses, especially SMBs, can gear up for success in 2025. So, we are currently living in a data-driven world, and data is key to growing an online business. But what does it really take to leverage it effectively? And, with AI and automation in play, how can we kind of stay ahead of the game? Well, I'm not exactly a data expert, but I did invite one with years of experience to come and answer all of our questions. So please welcome Marek Stępień, the head of data at Text. Hi, Marek.
Hi, Kai.
It's great to have you here today.
Happy to be here.
Really? Are you, though? Seriously?
Yeah, I managed to fit it in, so...
So can you start by telling us a bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, so as you said already, I'm leading the data and AI team at LiveChat. We're doing business intelligence and AI. Apart from work, I'm dad of a 3-year-old son, and we have 2 dogs.
What kind of dogs?
Oh, those are like mixed. Looking the same, but mixed, yeah.
Okay.
In colors and in breeds, yeah.
Okay.
And also the third thing I have to tell is like, how do you know someone is doing triathlon? Like you don't, they will tell it themselves. So I'm doing triathlon.
So I want to start off with quite a generic question, right? So how do you see the role of data, in shaping e-commerce businesses in the next year? Like, how can SMBs keep up with those big players? And can they, if they get their data strategy right?
Yeah, I think they can. First of all, we all can see that we live in this data-driven, data-informed world, and we have access to everything. That's why no matter the size of the business, you can use it to your advantage. Like you have you don't even have to own data sets or analytics teams. Everything is out there for some special purposes. Like US census data is available for everyone. You can have everything from poverty levels to average incomes, everything about every state, or even to city granularity in some cases.
Okay, that's interesting.
Use it to your advantage, and then you have analytics can be provided by AI, by some tools. I still encourage you to do calculations yourself, but they could show you like which direction to go, what factors to look at, and etc.
So there's a lot of data you're saying publicly available that they can also, leverage to their benefit, because we're talking, small, medium SMBs, right?
Yep.
So whether they're just starting out or, if they've been open for a few years already, maybe they can't afford a whole data team.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So first of all, there's a lot of data publicly available. Second of all, some AI tools. Can you recommend something that they can
even
leverage?
if you go like on top of it on first, the OpenAI and the ChatGPT with the plugins, they have plugins for analytics. So you can have these small assistants who can help who. it's wrong probably to say who about the AI, but which can help you. Yeah, we are not there. But like, let's be kind to the algorithms. So you can use them, but still, when it's November 24, so when I was using recently like AI or testing that for some analytics, it still can make some mistakes, right? In calculations. So like be also aware of that.
Of course, we're like what? We're nearly 3 years into the whole AI thing. I don't even know what to call it yet.
Yeah, we are close to 2 years right now. I think it was 28th or 29th of November 2022.
Okay.
When the ChatGPT blew up.
Okay.
We ourselves at Text were in this AI rhythm way before, but it was not this generic AI era, right?
So I want to ask you, why is data crucial for e-commerce businesses in 2025? And what specific data should they look for? So let's talk from a beginner level to an intermediate to an advanced level. Like if you could share 3 categories, that would be great. Or just in general, something that you would advise, let's say on a more beginner level, and then later, like what would be on advanced level, just so people who are just starting out can also have an idea.
Okay, yeah. So in this beginner level, you usually don't have or have a very little of data. So then you have to use external sources of this data. Like, again, AI can be itself a source of data, but you are not sure about where it comes from usually. So you have to validate that information. But you can get this publicly available. Those are trustworthy sources of data. And at the beginner level, you can do that. Then if you step up, you already run your business for some time, you have to collect data, or someone is collecting this data for you for sure.
You have to collect data.
I mean, it's being collected, like no matter if you are aware of that or not. Exactly. If you are using Shopify, you have probably the whole reporting section out there. And the data, even if you don't want to use Shopify inbuilt features to analyze them, you can probably export them and then do it yourself, right?
Definitely.
And then at the higher level, I think it's another level. You usually have someone taking care of data, some engineering behind, and then you have much more possibilities, and all the data you have is your advantage because this is only yours. No one else has access to that, and that's an advantage of being a little bit ahead of this data journey.
Definitely. Many e-commerce platforms, right, like Shopify, for example, they have a great reporting section. And there, you can find all the basics you, of course, need. But like you're saying, if they do want to get more advanced analytics, they should definitely go look for a third-party integration or something like that on the marketplace, or gather it themselves by downloading the file and then exporting it somewhere else. So on the topic of reporting, LiveChat actually came out with a new feature. Would you like to tell them? I think this is your part to tell, so I don't want to get into it.
It was, let's say, born within our team. So when you're talking about reporting, usually this basic reporting is doing some analytics on structured data. So like tables, you've got numbers, you've got rows, columns, etc. And then you have the second layer, which is unstructured data. And up to like, let's say this 2 years ago, it was still fairly difficult or not that accessible to analyze this unstructured data, which is, for example, a big text document. And a big text document is a chat transcript, for example, right?
All right.
Right. So we have the whole chat. That's a lot of text. To conclude something from this text, it's a nightmare. We've tried. We had to do it to check how algorithms are working. So we thought that there's a lot of value in this text, but it's hard to take it, like to easily access it.
Okay.
So we came up with a model, so like our internally built model, which is reading chats. Let's call it reading chats. We are able to read more than 1,000 chats within seconds and conclude from them like the most frequent questions which are coming out, some anomalies which are coming from those things, and all of that is accessible through Insights feature in LiveChat.
And that saves so much time. That's like the thing you need. You want to wake up in the morning, have your morning coffee, take a look at your insights. What are the most frequent questions? What is happening with my business? A little report of a report, right? Exactly. Of all the reports. Like that's exactly what I need in the morning instead of manually scanning through, especially, with busy seasons as well, right? When there's many, many customers during some type of holiday season, whether it's, Easter, whether it's Christmas, or Black Friday, right? You have to be prepared for that. And you want to review your data like this instead of having to scan it through, let's say, each and every day during those busy periods. So data can also get quite messy.
Yep.
And I remember, I think it was you telling me that with the big sharks, right? With the big sharks out there, data can be even messier than it is for small SMBs, right?
Yep.
And messy data is usually, I think, cluttered by human error or inconsistencies.
It can be like this messiness. It can come from different sources. Like it can come from product events, but it also it usually comes from human error, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, in e-commerce, everything that is offered by e-commerce has to be bought, then delivered if it's a physical product.
Yeah.
So for this, you have to fill in some forms, right?
Yeah.
Let's say if you have to fill in the city, like New York, for example.
Yeah, the fields of... Then what?
If you type it in manually, it's very usual that people are typing it wrongly. Like for new, they will type it in NEEW, right? And that's already a messiness. And then if you try to analyze this data, you will have New York spelled right, then New York with double E as a different city. And that's already something that is making this noise in the data and not like allowing you to conclude correctly. So like first thing you could do for getting rid of that messiness is, let's say, do a drop down, like so you can choose the city, not type it in, right? So we have this kind of things that can help.
That's super, super interesting, because a little thing, like you're saying, right, an extra E in New York, and that completely changes how your data is gathered, right?
Yeah.
And what do you do then? Like from a data perspective, what do you do then? What should you do? What should a small business owner do?
I mean, from our perspective, like internally at Text, we would go to the product team and tell, please change that because it's a nightmare, right? Or if they oppose, we would do something on our side to clean it automatically if that's possible. But if not, then that's a noise and we have to accept it sometimes. If you are in the e-commerce and you have like direct influence, if you are a small, medium business, you have this agile possibilities still to changes relatively quickly, and then start from day zero with correct data.
Okay, so it's a lot easier. I mean, from what I'm gathering, right, we're talking about that for SMBs, it's a lot easier for them to keep their data clean than also big enterprises.
Oh yeah, you've got much less dependencies, much less points being connected. Like if you have less products, it's easier to make it straight. Also, the historical data is probably easier to clean up, or even there's not that much of it that you have to clean up, right?
Okay.
So this is relatively quicker, but you still, like, the first step is probably awareness that you have to like think about it when deploying something, because it's easy to deploy it like that, like without caring about the future.
So it's better to start early, get organized, right? So you don't have to, of course, SMBs, they don't have to go and hire a data team like, for example, the enterprise would, but you can even hire somebody on Fiverr, right? Can you do that for data?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So you can hire somebody on Fiverr to get your data organized from the very beginning so that you don't have those inconsistencies or those human errors later on. And they can also advise you, like you were saying, instead of, having to manually type in the city, you could have a list of drop-downs. So let's say you ship to the US, you could have all the cities placed there in the drop-down, and it would be easier for the customer to choose and easier for you to later have your data clean.
Exactly. It's like building the foundation for your home. You don't want to build the roof on top of, sticks. You want to have a proper foundation.
Yeah, that would just like blow the house down. It would blow in
it would make a tent.
Yeah,
right?
it would be a nice tent. All right. So we've talked about messy data. We've talked about the approach to getting your data strategy right. How does it work for growth? How should SMBs effectively use customer data for growth?
Yeah, when it comes to growth, I mean, it's one of the things that I can advise. It doesn't have to be right.
Okay.
But I'm a big fan of geo-targeting, so geographical analytics. If you are a small, medium business and you focus on some market, the first thing I would look at, like, where are your customers from? What they are doing on your like, also virtually, so where they are coming from virtually in web, but also geographically, like where they are coming, like which cities and etc. Then you can look at their behavior. So they are entering your e-commerce, right? It has to be e-commerce. So you can see what they are looking for, how they are like browsing through your shop, let's say it, and then what orders are they making. If you have already those drop downs we talked about, you can like check more precisely if those are the same customers who were there before, like returning customers. For example, if you're selling food, let's say, and you have one-time customers and then returning customers, you can check what products are being purchased at the first visit for one-timers and then returning. Maybe the returning has something, like choosing something that fits everyone, and then they will be back to buy more. And maybe those one-timers who are not, like, they are dropping off after the first order, maybe they're ordering something that is not tasty, right? And then adjust promotions or some recommendations.
Could you share some examples perhaps on like the geographical targeting or what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, first I've got two actually. One came to my mind when you said about US. So we've got a customer buying some food from US. US is a very wide country, and you have a lot of, like, wide physically, and you have a lot of time zones in there. And there was one e-commerce selling food, which was detecting from which part of US the person is, and then offering, for example, a breakfast or a lunch offer depending on the time they were in.
Oh, that's so considerate.
And that's so well targeted, because if you offer breakfast someone who is already in lunch time zone, that has a very little chance of conversion, right? Second, very recent for me, because I was reading the book, example is from Lego. You know the Lego bricks.
Yeah. I think I haven't lived under a rock, so I know Lego.
We probably all know. So back in 50s, so we can take lessons from 50s.
Okay, we're going into a time machine, back to the 50s.
Like 1950s, if someone is listening that in 30 years from now.
Okay.
Yeah. In 1950s, the Lego was on a Danish company, purely, not selling outside of Denmark. They wanted to scale up, naturally.
All right.
Back then, the obvious market for the toys capital was Germany in Europe. So they wanted to scale up to Germany. They were thinking how to reach customers. And by their knowledge and experience, targeting the whole Germany was a waste of money, because like, if you want to enter with a new product, now it's also applicable. If you want to enter with new product, for example, to the whole Germany or the whole US, you would have to spend so much money and still probably wouldn't be effective. It's like dropping leaflets from the planes. Like, you wouldn't probably find your customers. Okay. So what they did, they targeted one city. It was Hamburg back then.
Hamburg, okay.
Yeah, and then they focused probably a percentage of the budget they would have for the whole Germany to this one city, made it very intense, hired people to go to toy stores with toys, to ask for Lego bricks, to create this demand, and then also created that demand in this area. People started to asking for Lego. Naturally, they were like exposed in the stores, and it was very successful because it was very like focused and targeted. And people like SMBs right now, those small, medium, usually those companies are targeting some niche businesses. Usually also it's also good if they are from some place, like some city, and it creates this local this local patriotism. This local hub, this local patriotism. People are getting like attached because it's from their city, and that's also smart. And then you have data and from e-commerce, you can see that probably those products will travel. So like someone will order something in one city and then go back to home or to their parents in different city and then order there, and you can see how it travels, connect that this is the same customer by ordering to different address, and then try to see where to go next and how to scale up.
That's beautiful. You turned like data into a beautiful story shown by Lego and displayed how it can be used to create great experiences as well. Even when, I don't know, the family goes home for Christmas and they bring a Lego set or they order a Lego set to their family home. So that's the beautiful side of data. I would say there is some storytelling to it.
Yep. Yeah, that's important in those days to make a story out of data. Otherwise, it's just numbers. Sheets.
How about now? Is it just numbers or is it also a story? Does it tell a story?
I mean, OpenAI can tell a story about data. It doesn't have to be true, but it can help.
AI. Mm-hmm. Okay, AI. You mentioned OpenAI, so here we go again. I have to do this to you because I do this to practically anyone who has come on for the last 2 years. AI and automation. How does it play a role in data-driven e-commerce in 2025? I want to know, your take on chatbots and like automated customer service tools, like for example, what LiveChat offers. What is your take on that?
Right now, we all have access to the same chatbots, let's say, right? Okay. So like everyone can have access to OpenAI, and everyone can deploy OpenAI on their web page as an assistant and have the same set of answers. What makes a difference is if you try to fine-tune, like give it additional context from your data. So your data is, again, this advantage you can have, and that's only yours, right? Copilot in LiveChat, for example, is using this technology where we have knowledge sources, so you can upload your knowledge sources, and then the model will answer with having that context, that additional context of your data. So it won't be like everyone else. It will be tailored for your needs and like have your knowledge source as a base. Yeah.
So it kind of, it's like a vampire. I'm kidding. Let's not go there. But basically, with the knowledge sources, it's really cool because you can upload like any sort of PDF file or a website or your own website, right? You imagine how much information like an e-commerce website has, right? Let's just start off there. And you upload it, and it retrieves all the knowledge. It gathers everything. So let's say, instead of back in the day, a customer support agent, right? They had to have like a tab open with the website. If a customer asked about a certain product, they would have to go and search for the product description and say, okay, so we have this product available in this and this many colors. They would actually have to physically go on the website. And with where we are now, it's just a simple question to Copilot. The agent can do that. Or when responding to a customer, Copilot can help simply generate a response to the customer's question. Wow.
Exactly. And this is like something big, but you have also these small automations, which makes I'm probably a bigger fan of those small automations.
Okay, tell me.
Because those are making your life easier, simply. It doesn't have to be even called AI or something. But it has model underneath usually. But those will make your life easier and your work faster, and probably your customer more satisfied. Like you've got this canned response suggestions, so you've got your own canned responses base, and then depending on what customer is saying, you will have a proposed answer, which is something you would normally have to, I don't know, learn by, like you have to learn it, like what to type in before it appears, or you would have to have like a tab open next to you, so you know the list. In this case, the model will look for the correct one or like correct by its knowledge.
Yeah.
Then you have tag suggestions. So this is maybe not for answering your customer, but tagging the chat. So depending organization, and this gives you additional layer of data advantage, because like if you have a chat itself, it's not worth that much in data terms. When you add a tag to it, it has something. You know that this chat was about sales, if you tag it sales, and then it was rated good. So you got one rated well tag. And if you have a lot of it, Insights can take it as a source for analytics and looking for anomalies in this tag. So yeah, and this opens the whole loop of, let's call it micro loop of growth in your organization, your customer service. You can analyze it better, faster, and make it more automatic.
That's like we've gone from where you manually had to do everything. You had to be there for the customer. You had to search for information, to where we are leveraging AI, but I'd like to say in a way that is convenient for us. Like you're saying, with even organizing our data with tag suggestions, right? That one thing already changes so much, and it has a huge impact on how later our data is organized. Marek, I'm so happy I invited you on today. I feel like I've picked your brain a lot, and I've personally learned a lot about data as well. But I still have one more question. And I'd like to ask you what the, 3 most important things e-commerce businesses should do now to prepare for the data-driven future.
Yeah, so let's wrap up a little bit what we've talked about. So first, I would try to keep the data clean, maybe not the one that you already collected, but from today. Okay. So make sure you have these drop downs and those kind of things. Then after you have it, check how your customer database is looking like. So if you have this one-timers returning, and try to like maybe put it through some AI to show you where to point you, what to look at, and then revamp your strategy to make it like data informed, I would say. So like keep your mind open for the ideas, but also check what data is telling you about what to do, where to focus, which market to target.
Okay, so keep your data clean, number 1.
Yep.
Second, check your customer base, right?
And integrate automations if possible.
Okay. And number 3, revamp your data strategy.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the 3 takeaways that we wanted to leave you with. But if you do have any questions about data, I already got consent from Marek that we can leave his LinkedIn handle in the description for you. So go swamp him with LinkedIn messages about data and anything like that. But Marek, I wanted to thank you once again for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
And thank you to you for being here. So, any last words?
If you want to ask about bikes, also let me know.
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. If you have any questions about bikes, triathlons, marathons, you know where to go.
Thanks.
So thank you for joining us. Take care and see you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.